Hi everyone, my name is Toni JANAE. Welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing extremely lovely. So for this video, I'm going to be answering some questions really quickly on being adopted. These are questions that I get asked all the time, and if you were adopted, you've probably been asked them too. I personally do not get offended when people ask me questions about being adopted. It doesn't bother me at all. But I think it's just like any other personal situation. Everyone's different. Just be conscious when you're asking somebody about being adopted, just because their feelings might be different. But I'm just gonna go ahead and answer some of the questions that I've been asked a lot. I really don't think I ever had like a aha moment. You know, my parents are white, okay, like Caucasian women, and I'm African American, I'm black, so I never really thought I wasn't adopted. It was a known fact, and they're women, they're lesbians, so it was pretty obvious growing up. So after doing some thinking about this, I actually remember when I was a kid in daycare, and anytime the man would come home, the woman's husband that used to watch us, I would run and hide. I would go hide in one of the little girls' wardrobe, and I wouldn't come out until he was gone. I remember hearing his voice and cringing. Like, I was terrified of grown men growing up because, you know, I never had a male in my life. When I was with my birth mom, it was just my birth mom, and then I was adopted by two women. I never had a dad. I never said the word daddy. I never celebrated Father's Day. So I was petrified of grown men when I was a child. But other than that, nothing was weird. Like, having two moms, I didn't get teased or bullied. This is always one of those questions where it's like, when people say real, I mean, I look at my foster parents like they're my real parents. Those are my parents. I know who my parents are, you know what I mean? But I used to answer this question very differently when I was a kid. I never wanted to know my birth parents. All I wanted was to know what they looked like. I just wanted to see a picture of them because I wanted to know, where do my features come from? Why does my face look like this? Do I look like my mom? Do I look like my dad? Is it a mixture of both? I always just wanted to see their picture. But I actually met my birth dad, so I will be making a video on how I met my birth family right after this. If it's already uploaded, it will be linked below. I get this question more than you could even imagine. Like, really? I would say growing up, this was a bigger problem for me. It's still a problem for me. It's not that I don't feel wanted. Growing up, I did have to go to therapy and see a psychiatrist just because I needed to get my mind right. I needed to understand what was happening, you know what I mean? And as I'm older now, it gets harder for me to get close to somebody and not think that they're gonna leave. I always think something's gonna happen. I mean, it's either gonna be their choice to walk away, or they're gonna be taken away by something, the law, the government, whatever. Somebody's gonna come take them away. They're gonna go to jail. Or I think that they're gonna die. They're gonna get hit by a bus and die. Like, I just get so anxious about people in my life that I care about. I get really nervous that somehow they're just gonna be gone. That is something that I'm working on right now to kind of cope with and understand, you know, how to just relax, how to chill out, you know. You can't trust everybody, but not everybody is in your life to hurt you, you know what I mean? So I'm working on that right now. As I was younger, I definitely had a lot of issues with that. I never really like acted out or did anything crazy like that, but it's not that I don't feel wanted. You know, my brother's right next door. I love him more than anything, you know what I mean? And I know I'm wanted, I know I'm loved, so I don't feel like that anymore. I do get anxious and I have anxiety sometimes, but I'm working on it. Being adopted is the coolest thing ever. I love being adopted. I have so many siblings, it's ridiculous. My parents did not just adopt me and my half-brother Paris. They adopted like all of us kids, both black, both white, and then they each had daughters of their own. So our house was lit, okay? Holidays lit. Like whenever all of us siblings get together, we just reminisce all night about the past and funny stories for days. And it's just crazy to think about. Like, these people could have been strangers to me and now they're my family. Like, we were brought together with these people that they're my brothers and my sisters, and I love them. So being adopted is great. I'm happy I was adopted. I do actually want to adopt 2 kids. I mean, there's no guarantees on how many kids I will end up adopting, but I do know for sure I want to adopt at least a girl and a boy. Fortunately, I met my birth father, so some of those questions have been answered. It's definitely a concern that you have. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. You think about that, like, as you're adopted and you go to the doctor's office and the doctor asks you questions like, does your family have a history of sickness, cancer, AIDS? You know, they ask those questions and you're just like, I was adopted, I have no idea. And those questions never get answered. So that is a concern for some people. But fortunately for me, I actually met my birth father and some of those questions were answered. So it's so, like, it's normal to me. It doesn't feel weird, but what's really annoying is, like, you'll go out with your sister, or whatever your situation is. You'll go out with your brother or sister that's black or white. In my instance, I've got both black brothers, white sisters, and black sisters. So, for example, like me and my sister, one of my white sisters, we'll go out and, you know, people think we're friends. And it's like, no, we're sisters. Like, that's my sister. And then they're like, no, she's not. Like, you're just kidding. And you're like, no, like, that's my sister. And if you touch her, I'll kill you. Being adopted really taught me how to accept everyone and everything. And it made me so open-minded. I mean, I was adopted by lesbians. It is the 21st century, but as a kid, it's not the 21st century to you. You know what I mean? And they're white on top of that, so it could have been really bad, but it wasn't for me, fortunately. I'm so open-minded. I don't judge anyone for anything. You can talk to me about everything. You know, there's so much diversity in my family. I'm just so used to different views on things. And you think about it, you've got all these strangers at one point in time that are coming together. Of course, we're gonna have different views on religion. We're gonna have different music tastes. We're all going to be into different sports and hobbies and activities. We're all so different, but at the same time we're family. So that alone made me just accepting of everyone. And then on top of that, I read why I was adopted in my first video, and like I said at the end, people have been through way worse than I have. People have it way worse. There's people that never get taken away from a bad situation. There's people that live like that forever. Fortunately, you know, I was saved, and I know that I'll never take that for granted, and I will make the most of my life. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you were adopted and you get questions all the time, comment them below, some of the craziest things that you've heard, some of the questions that you've answered, or maybe even just what are your thoughts on some of the questions that I've been asked. I would love to read them. I would love to know what you guys go through. And other than that, I'll see you in my next video. Bye.